The charge of criminal injuria, which the attorney will explain to you, and that's via a class action instituted by the Indians of South Africa. And I think it's very, very important that the Hindu community is grateful to have our fellow Muslim and Christian brothers with us here today. And I want to thank all of you for you coming here today, and also leave you with the words of the SACP Secretary General Blade Zamande, who said this week that South Africans are getting very impatient with some minorities who are taking us back to pre-94. And remember, we've been celebrating Diwali for 150 years now. The whites have been celebrating Guy Fawkes for before that, and there hasn't been this attack. And I now hand you over to the President of Hindu Mahasabha, Ashworth.
Thanks, Pradeep. Sisters and brothers, you know, on Tuesday night after Diwali, we started to receive emails from our Hindu brothers and sisters, and some of the complaints have been quite stunning. One family in Gauteng had 3 shots fired at them by an unknown motorist who parked outside and simply fired shots at them. You all know about the story on the block where a family was traumatized, and then in Watsonia we had a similar incident where a man walked into the house of Hindus who were celebrating Diwali, kicked down the door, started smashing things and wanted to kill them. Now, this type of behavior doesn't just happen overnight. It hasn't happened in the past, and why suddenly there's this concerted move by the minority in this country. The reason is very simple. We have been celebrating Diwali, and incidentally, historically, this is the 102nd year where Diwali is being officially recognized by the South African government. Although we came here in 1860, our forefathers were not even allowed to celebrate Diwali those days. Only 102 years ago they were eventually recognized, and since then we've been celebrating Symbolic with no problem. So clearly what Rudy has said is that there are a small minority of people who still haven't come out of the shell of racism. They think that only they have sex, you and I don't have sex. We don't have pets at all. We don't know what it is to have pets. We don't know that we love pets, and yet most of us who claim to have pets are quite happy to eat meat, which comes from the slaughtering of animals at the abattoirs. We don't make a noise. When our brothers and sisters go out game hunting and shooting down animals as sport, nobody says anything. So these are some of the problems that we have. And we as a community will not allow, and I think this is the point, we are not going to allow these people to insult us and insult us and insult us. And the time has come where we now need to make an assertion that you might think that Indians in general, and I speak for all of us, that Indians in general are tolerant people and peace-loving people. Therefore you can walk into their houses and threaten them and shoot at them and they will get frightened. The time has come to dispel that. And more importantly, you know, I can't forget President Mandela's speech in 1994. You remember he said, take your weapons and throw them into the sea. You remember? I think he forgot to say, take our weapons and those racists as well and throw them into the sea. Because that's what should have happened. But we've been tolerant, we've been conciliatory, we want all South Africans to live together, but some of us are still way, way behind. 1994 is 18 years ago. And to think that in 2012 people behave the way they are, we can't allow them to carry on like this. So let us unite. We find any kind of intolerant behavior. We are here as the Hindu Mahasabha, leaders are here. We must take action immediately and sort out the people. So thank you for coming here, all of you. We appreciate it, and I think it's more important that we all stand together. Thank you.
Grace Street Mosque, A.B. Mohammed, a unifier and someone that felt it was important for the Muslim community to come out here and show their unity and the support for the Hindus and the Hindu community as a whole.
That's where I knew Fellow brothers and sisters, I will not observe any protocol. We are all equal. What we're standing here for is not an attack against India, it's not an attack against Hinduism, it's not an attack against Diwali, it's not an attack against the fireworks, but it is an attack on human beings. Our dignity is being impaired. And as our president of the Hindu Mahasabha has said, that it is time for us to leave our shackles, stand united, and show our voice and our affection and fight this to the bitter end. Let this be the last time anybody takes advantage of the Indian community. It must never ever be. And I think our President Ashton has said, should have put the people with racism away at that time. Thank God we as Indians don't have racism. And today, it is not because of the Hindu and Diwali. It is an attack on us. And that's what we are standing here for. And as our President has said that he wishes to thank each and every one of you, it's an effort for you to come. We appreciate your stand here today with us. We appreciate the initiative taken by Brother Vivian Reddy to do this. And we assure you as leaders, and I'm sure Ashworth will back me on this, that we will not take this line down from anyone in future anymore as well. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. And you know, most of our leaders are marching in Canberra today, and we are fortunate to have the MK veterans there, represented by Commander Seth Kumalo, and he phoned me and he said, I want to come out here and support my fellow Indian brothers and sisters, and he's got a comment to make from the MK Veterans Association. Thank you, comrades. What is happening now is taking us back to the apartheid era. You know, you cannot have a situation whereby white people, you know, they just lambast our very own brothers who played a pivotal role in our struggle since the 1969 Morogoro Conference, where Yusuf Jadu and others played a pivotal role. So as MK leaders in Etegwini region, we condemn that, and we still enjoy our cultural diversity. You know, so we should respect one's culture. It doesn't matter of the color or creed. But what is happening, it's really it's something that that binds us together to fight wholeheartedly and make sure that we remain brothers and sisters. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Commander. And we'll now call upon Reverend Cyril Clay to convey a message of support from the Christian community. I think that you understand there, so...
Thank you, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, as a proud South African Indian Christian, we want to condemn in the strongest terms any forms of racism, especially on our Eastern religions and our culture. And I pray that our judicial system will find this young white girl guilty, and I pray that she will spend some time in prison, and maybe that will be the place where she will learn a good, costly race relations lesson. Thank you.
Thanks, Reverend Cyril Clay. This is called, you know, I had a call yesterday from this young white attorney. Her name is Kerry Fenner. And she came out and she said, I cannot tolerate this attack on the Indian community of one of my fellow white citizens. And I'd like to, and she's come here and she is representing the behavior civics in the church, and I now hand it to Kerry Fenner.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you for what all the community leaders have, who they're representing today and what they have spoken to. I must reiterate that we do condemn any racial intolerant comments that have been made on Facebook or any other social media or in any other form of method. Today we are busy opening a charge of criminuria, and that is the unlawful and intentional impairing or infringing someone's human dignity. And that would be the Hindu community at large. We are also going to be making complaints at the Human Rights Commission, and anyone may do this, so I encourage all of you to do this as well. You may go onto their website and lodge your complaints, or you can go to the Human Rights Commission offices to lodge your complaints. Thank you again for coming out today.
Good day to all of you, comrades, friends, religious leaders. For me today is a very historic moment, and that is because as a proud South African and as a young person as well, that if the community can come together across all racial bounds, across all religious bounds, to come here and say that we are not happy about what this woman has said, means a lot for me. It tells me that we are living in a country where we care about each other. The fact that you have all the different race groups and all the religious leaders here speaks volumes of the type of support we have for each other. So firstly, I want to say thank you and congratulate you for taking the step of coming here this morning under short notice and having to support the racial statements and comments made by this individual. Now, it also must not go, we must not be fall short about what has happened, because there seems to be a reoccurrence of these activities. And the thing is, it happens too many times, and too many of us just keep quiet about it. If you follow Facebook and Twitter quite closely, you'll see that almost every other day there is somebody saying something that's of racial discrimination against somebody else. And it's just that nobody stands up for it. But I'm so proud that today we can come here. And I want to applaud Mr. Vivian Reddy for the initiative taken this morning to bringing us all here together. Now, as a businessman, he could be going along his business daily, but he chose to take a stand against this and bring all of us. So I want to give him a very big round of applause this morning for having organized such and staged such a protest. But I also want to say that coming from a predominantly Indian community, we have moved away from an all Indians, all African, all white, all colored. We are living together side by side. And the community that I live in, I live with Indian and African people. And we respect each other. And we care about each other so much so that whatever happens to my neighbor, irrespective of the color, it affects me. And so I'm here today to say that as a community of South Africa, and as a proud South African, that we condemn wholeheartedly the statements that were made by Caroline. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is what was posted by Caroline Ashworth. To the Indians who call this celebrating, seriously, this is effing ridiculous. I hate you people letting off fireworks so inconsiderate. You don't deserve health, wealth, prosperity, or any other of the things that Diwali is supposed to bring to you. Now, I want you to understand that this is not just about Hindus, it's not just about Indians, but if one can make a statement that is so deep to the Indian community, then it affects all of us. Because we have all, irrespective of our cultures, our race, and our creed, have contributed to nation building. And we have sacrificed a lot. And what we have is as a result of what we earn. It didn't just fall from the sky one day. Everybody that has what they have right now is what they have earned, and they've worked towards this in their communities. And the other thing that is of importance is that this year marks 50 years for Chatsworth. And it's quite historical that we come here this morning to lay a charge at the Chatsworth police station, because we're saying something to this racist woman, that as a community living here in Chatsworth, we are living together and we don't tolerate racial intolerance and racial injustice. And so it marks a very big thing for me, as well as the Indian community. Not so long ago we celebrated 150 years. This is the contribution made to the country and to nation building. Now, this case that we opened of criminal injuria, a statement has been taken by Kerry from myself. It's going to be supported by the religious leaders, and an official case that is now going to be placed here at Chatsworth. Thereafter, the necessary will be done in terms of how the case moves forward. But also, it is going to be, and it has been with some people, laid with the Human Rights Commission And I urge again, every one of us to make this contribution of going onto the website and laying a complaint. The more complaints the Human Rights Commission receive, the better it is and the stronger it is for this case. So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you to Mr. Reddy, all our religious leaders under short notice. It means something for me as a young South African that we are really committed to nation building. And having to see all of you here today in your numbers means a lot for me. So thank you very much. And I pray that this case will receive the uttermost respect that the Indian community deserves, and every other South African for that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Let's do it again. I'm going to, in thanking you all, I want to do something very symbolic. And I thought it was the ideal, fitting thing to do, where we are going to burn the statement. And it is a feeling of our real deep down disappointment, and really, we as a community have been insulted. And I'll ask the religious leaders to join me in this ceremonial burning of the religious statement. We are going to set this really alight. It's not going to be symbolic. All right, if you want to come closer, I think everyone's going to hold it. Yeah. So just look at the cameras there.
No picture down here.
Burn it to all the ashes.
Just lift off your placards at the same time.
Just placard.
Yeah, lift it up. Yeah, above. What is it? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, the idea is that we want to burn racism. We want to, we want evil thoughts to be burned. And that's the symbolic burning of this. You see how difficult it is to get rid of racism. It doesn't involve. We got to re-burn it. Come on. Don't smoke. The last ladies and gentlemen and members of the press, we want to thank all of you, because it is the press that needs to express the views of the community, and it is through your involvement we can stamp out racism. You've got a great role to play in society, and we want to thank the members of the press at such short notice, and everyone. I mean, you only had, yesterday evening we put this together, and our printing that came, kept the printing press open till late so we could get all the printing done. And to all the speakers here, we thank you very much, and to the community members that attended, thank you very much. And let's not forget that racism alive everywhere, even our own lives. We must not practice racism. And something that we've noticed in the Facebook entries that we've started a war, but that must end. That whole Facebook war must end, and we must start learning to live together in unity and peace. Thank you once again, and thanks to Max Sound for sponsoring the sound system and coming out to us at short notice. And let's give Max Sound a big hand. He's a local resident. We've known him for the last 30 years, and thank you very much, Tony. And all the best to every one of you, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, and continue to fight for freedom and non-racialism.